now live also from Islamabad. Many thanks for your time. Sir, without stating the obvious, this is exactly what Asif Ali Zardari didn't need so early in his term. Ishtiaq Ahmad, it's Kamal Santa Maria here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Just pointing out the fact that this is, on such a crucial day for the new Pakistani president, exactly what he didn't need. I guess, how does he respond to this?
You see, today, there was a very important occasion in Islamabad. The president addressed the joint sitting of the parliament, including the National Assembly and the Senate. And apart from a message regarding the recent hype in US airstrikes in Pakistani tribal belt, which in my opinion was primarily for public consumption, he clearly mentioned about a three-pronged counter-terrorism strategy, emphasizing the political dialogue with extremists who are willing to surrender arms. He talked about, as a second option, economic development, and using force as a third option only as a last resort. The irony is, and the tragedy is, that on the one hand, the civilian political leadership is talking about dialogue and peace. On the other hand, the response from the extremists is violence and terrorism. And Islamabad has never seen a thing like this before. And I think the impact of this tragedy will be significant. It will be to convince the people in this country that even if it was an America's war at the start of the years after 9/11, it has finally become Pakistan's war. And therefore, it has to be fought jointly by the Pakistani state and the people.
I know it's very, very early in proceedings, and to look to any sort of responsibility is difficult, but maybe what I'd ask you is, what does your gut feeling tell you about who might be responsible for this and where it's come from?
Well, I'm pretty sure it's not my gut feeling alone, because if you look at the spate of suicide bombings that began effectively in 2004, it gained momentum after July 2007, after the Red Mosque operation in Islamabad. But it was a haphazard activity. One could see that there were splinter groups in Swat Valley or in North and South Waziristan. But what we have seen from October last year, the first attack against the convoy of former Prime Minister, the late Prime Minister Bhutto in Karachi, and then the December attack, and there were so many attacks in Karachi, Lahore, Rawalpindi, 2 attacks in Lahore against the FIA headquarters and the Naval Academy in Lahore. You really see the hallmark or the footprints of Al-Qaeda here, because there is a carefully calibrated strategy being pursued, and this is something which an organized network of terrorists can do. And I think behind today's attack and the nature of this and the gigantic outcome of this attack, one can see that the anarchic situation that we have had in Pakistan's politics and broadly in the region has really given a new lease of life to Al-Qaeda.
Interesting analysis there from the political analyst Ishtiaq Ahmad. My thanks to you for joining us here on Al Jazeera.